The story of a people is told best by those who live it out daily. And when the history of that community is informative, inspirational, and insightful, it should then be shared with the world. The Clio Exchange does that.
It's to get the researchers into the finding aids and guides. There is absolutely no way you can research in federal records without an archivist and the finding aids and the guides. You can't do it. Can't be done. And many of the archivists are longtime staff members. Most of them are senior archivists. Now, we've lost quite a few good senior archivists through retirement. One of my jobs in my early career, I was in the consultant's office, and I did a lot of genealogy work. But we have Reginald Washington. We have an African-American genealogist or genie specialist. I call him Genie. And that's all he does. Mm-hmm. And he goes around the country speaking to genealogists, particularly African-American groups. Yeah.
And the discipline in terms of, educational preparation for becoming an archivist?
Yeah, for the National Archives, there's a 2 to 3 year training period.
That they put you through?
They put you through. Okay. Right.
And are there a lot of other African Americans that are
Not
in
many.
your discipline? Okay.
I used to be a member of the Society of American Archivists, and they have a round table called the Archives and Archivists of Color from all over the country, and there are about 100 of them there. Mm-hmm. But SA is a big organization, so they're out there, but not in great numbers.
Yeah. When I think about you, it's like you're like the Indiana Jones of the archive,
Right.
as far as African American history is concerned.
Right.
Because you know where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah. You can't. When you're at an institution, as long as I've been there, you learn a lot, and particularly if you're devoted and dedicated to education and informing people of records and that history, you learn quite a bit. I have learned so much, I've forgotten some things. That's the truth.
I'm sure.
That's the truth.
And when you were showing me around, it's just amazing the amount of material.
Yeah, I did that to just show you the volume. Remember, I said it's voluminous.
Yeah.
And it's intimidating to a lot of scholars. They love the archives, but they don't want to work in there. And that's why I say, you have to be serious if you want to do research, particularly if you want to do historical scholarly research. And we get those people in there that want to do that.
And the seriousness is because it's going to take some effort.
You better believe it. Researchers work.
Yeah.
When I was at Howard, I used to teach a couple courses. Well, I'm still at Howard, but in the history department, I taught about 2 semesters of historical research methods. Okay. And one of the things I emphasize is that you have to develop a strategy, and you have to allocate time and money and energy. I mean, it's fun. It could be frustrating, but it's exhilarating at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I have I'm certainly not a scholar in terms of love of history and the commitment to it. My passion is there, but the scholarly training to be a historian isn't. But I'm as committed to it.
And that's all right. I get plenty of people, lay people who want to find out about a certain historical topic.
Right.
But I deal mainly with scholars, writers, journalists, PhD students. Yeah.
And where I was going with that is that I have a real concern about some of the kids I run into who doesn't have the love and appreciation for their history. Is there a key to help turn that interest button?
Yeah, there is.
What is it?
Their parents and their teachers.
Okay.
Because over the last 4 years, I've spoken to maybe 6 different high school groups who had history projects. And one of the projects was here in Washington, D.C. A black slave was freed in 1862 through the Congressional Compensation Act, D.C. Emancipation. And the class tracked her from slavery through freedom in Washington, D.C. And we had some of her records there.
In the archive?
That's right.
My goodness. Talk about bringing it home. That had to be beautiful.
Yeah. It blew their mind.
And that's probably one of the keys in terms of stimulating that real appreciation for the history is when they can really connect beyond the book.
Yeah, they can see a document and they can study that history around it. And it gets a lot of kids excited.
Yeah. And how about your children? Do you have your children involved in the study of history?
No, they enjoy history, but they had other things in mind.